What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, proudly sponsored by Flyers Indoor Golf. Make sure you go down there, get yourself on the website, go and get yourself booked on for the virtual golf. And remember, match day drinks. Me, John, the team, Millsy, we'll all be in there. Come and have a pint with us. It's just a bar. There may be the odd parking space left when it gets close to the season, but at the minute he is sold out. And we're hoping that we might be able to do some fantastic live content at some point. So we will keep you posted on that following discussions internally. Before we actually start, John, I wanted to shout out one of our subscribers, which is at Will EFC5. Who shared with us the tragic news that he lost his brother, aged 26. He refers to him as Sammy Boy. So I simply wanted to say from everyone connected at Blue Boys Network, I know you've already commented, but I wanted to say everyone connected with Blue Boys Network, all subscribers, family of mine, everyone, we send our hard love, everything. We send everything over to you because I can't imagine how horrendous that is, my friend. But just know that we are all here for you. And if you do want to get in touch with the channel via Instagram, Twitter, or email, I'd love to get some flowers sent over to your house or to your family from the Blue Boys. So just let me know, mate.
Yeah, I echo that. I did see the comment last night. I did message Will back, just basically saying if you need to talk, a shoulder to cry on, someone to, let his emotions out to, and it's better to not hold it in. Listen, it's easy for me to say. Me and Michael haven't been through the tragedy that you have. The heartbreaking news that you told us. So you know where we are. I did put that in the message. If you want to talk, reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, sending love to you, bud. Right, let's move on to Everton. Let's move on to Everton. It appears to be a busy day. So what bit of news do you want to start with, John? I think the most pressing news I think we should start with, and you'll no doubt agree with this. Angus Gunn, the goalkeeper. He's been linked with a move to Everton, 2-year deal. You happy with the goalkeeper signing potentially, John?
Well, it's Scottish international, isn't it? He's not a bad keeper from what I have seen of him. 2-year deal. He has been offered to Everton. I'm pretty sure he is out of contract. I think his last club was Norwich, if I'm not mistaken. I might be completely wrong. But yeah, listen, we've spoke on here. We haven't really spoke about the goalkeeping position that needs filling because we do need an understudy to Jordan Pickford. And for me, Angus Gunn would be as good as understudy as anyone, really. So yeah, I would take that all day.
Yeah, there you go. There's the main piece of news today, right?
Is there a certain defender that we need to speak about?
I don't know, John. I don't know. Awful footballer, in my opinion. Awful. Waste of whatever his contract is. I heard it's a 5-year deal, John.
I mean, I just can't believe Everton have tied him down to such a long contract and made him one of the highest paid players at the club. Because at the end of the day, if they wouldn't have given him as much wages, he could have made that tunnel look better than what it does now, which is a gazebo from Timu.
Or they could have offered Mason Holgate a new deal.
All jokes aside, because people are going to switch off. Listen, I said this on the channel the other night. I think signing Jarrad Branthwaite down to a long-term contract will be the best transfer business, regardless of who we bring in, will be the best bit of business Everton do in this window and probably January's window as well. I think it was so important to tie Jarrad Branthwaite down. He was linked with Tottenham, he was linked with City, he's been linked with the other team across the Stanley Park. So whatever Everton have done and whatever David Moyes has said to him, it's worked. He sold them the project. He's buying into the project. And Jarrad Branthwaite, his comments were, It didn't take him long to decide to stay. He's had so much playing time over the last 2 years, and this is where he wants to further his career, learn more and more off the manager. And he also did say that England have got a World Cup coming up not too far away, and that's his thoughts initially are to improve at Everton, to help the team, to hopefully win things at Everton and get in that England squad. He said all the right things, and for me, it's massive piece of business that Everton have done.
Do you know what the thing was that sold it for me? Obviously, Jarrad Branthwaite signing a deal sold it for me, but the big thing for me was his comment around ambition, his comments around what this football club want to do going forward, what the manager wants to achieve at this football club. David Moyes, by all accounts, has walked into this club, and I don't think he wants us to be underdogs. I don't think he wants us to sit there and be this, this.
There for the ride, just go through the motions.
Yeah, I think he wants us to really be the team that we all want. This big, aggressive, new stadium, good group of players, all of those positives. I just get the impression that David Moyes wants us to be bigger and better than certainly in my lifetime. Obviously, it's a bit different for you, but it feels very different to David Moyes in 2002. Now, it feels very, very different. It feels like we're not going to go into games being the underdog mentality, which Moyes got criticised for years. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like David Moyes is going to go into every game expecting to win. It doesn't matter who you are.
Do you know what I think it is? I think he's been on the outside looking in, and the rubbish that we've had to watch as Everton fans and what we've seen on the pitch and how the club's being run. He's been on the outside looking in. David Moyes wasn't ready to come back into management when Everton approached him to take over from the previous manager. But he said he couldn't say no to Everton, and he jumped at the chance. And the things he's saying now, he's seen what it's been like over the years, probably since he left Everton. It's been a slow decline since David Moyes left, and we sort of hit a brick wall, and the only thing we didn't do was get relegated. David Moyes was surprised where we finished in the league last year. He was surprised how well we played under him. He doesn't want to see that dross anymore under his tenure, or when he leaves Everton. He wants to leave us in a good situation, a good position on the pitch and off it. And he's saying the right things that he could see how Everton fans were hurting. David Moyes gets Everton, and Everton get David Moyes. So he could see what we've gone through. He could see how much we were hurting. He knows what this football club means to us fans. So I think he said the right things. Jarrad Branthwaite's come out and said what the manager's told him he wants from him. Jarrad Branthwaite's come out and said what David Moyes was like from the first day he walked back into Finch Farm up until the end of the season. Jarrad Branthwaite saying the right things, and David Moyes is saying the right things. So when you hear that from a player who had the opportunity to go and play Champions League football, there was clubs that linked with him who were in Champions League, but no, he's chose to stay at Everton because he sees the project. He sees we're going to a bright new stadium. Yeah, Everton have made him one of the highest paid players at the club. In my opinion, well deserved. And as I said before, I've seen a quote today that said when the Freakins come in, their first thing that they wanted to do was tie Jarrad Branthwaite down as long as the manager wanted that, which goes without saying. David Moyes would have wanted Jarrad Branthwaite signing, tying down to a long-term contract. So it's worked out well for the Freakins. They've come in, they basically promised David Moyes what they wanted, which was signing Branthwaite for a long-term contract. But it's good to hear Branthwaite saying the things he said, and it's good to hear David Moyes saying the things he said. He's been sold the project, and he's happy to be part of it. And listen, as I said before, and I've said it on a couple of videos, signing Jarrad Branthwaite down to a long-term deal and possibly getting a Idrissa Gana guy for another 1 to 2 years will be massive in this transfer window.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I actually wanted to read the quote. I was just looking for it. So this is what Jarrad has said. I know the club. I feel loved by the players. We've got a good group here and the fans. Over the past few years, I've seen the impact the fans have had on us as a team and how much it means to them. And obviously, with the new stadium we've got here, the new ownership and the new manager, it's an exciting project. It's something I want to be part of. I mean, that really does say to you that he has been sold the dream. And why would he be sold the dream if this group of people, the Friedkins, David Moyes, the new board of sort of, the recruitment team, the strategists, the scouts, all of the stuff that Everton have put in place, why would they do that if it's not going to be special? And then David Moyes made some equally great comments as well, around we're delighted Jarrad's committed his future to us. He's still 23 and his best years are hopefully still ahead of him. We believe he can have a huge role to play in an exciting new era at this football club. I mean, when was the last time you felt excited about a new era at Everton?
But you know what, mate? Again, the quote you say there, and I'll reiterate what I said before, it's all positive, it's all the right things. And when you hear a player come out and say quotes like that, and and sits down with the Everton press officer and really says it how he feels and what he wants to be part of and how he is excited to be part of the project. You normally hear, and this is no disrespect to Everton, because everyone knows I wouldn't disrespect Everton, but you hear that from players when they sign the Champions League clubs. For example, Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Real Madrid, saying he wants to be part of the success there. He wants to win Champions Leagues. You hear different players who signed for Liverpool. We've got a player who's put his long-term career, his contract of 5 years to our club, and he's coming out and saying things like that. For me, that's probably one of the most positive quotes I've heard from a player for a long, long time. Because you're right with what you say. They brought the right people in. They haven't sold him up the road. Hopefully they haven't sold him a pack of lies, which I don't think they will, because I don't think the people who are running our club are them sort of people. So I think they've been honest with him. I think they've promised him where we're going, what the project is, as I said before. And obviously they've been told what sort of players we're going to be bringing in and where we want to finish next season, long-term progress, where we want to go. At the end of the day, mate, whatever they've said to Jarrad Branthwaite has worked a treat, because he's committed his long-term future to the football club. And when you hear quotes like that, I think the future is very bright.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't feel like a full storm like it did with Farhad Moshiri. When Moshiri come in and we went and spunked all that money on, I think it was 8 players that transfer window, and we spent like 160 million or something. This feels very measured. It feels very measured.
It's done properly by the right people.
Yeah, exactly. We've also been linked with a right back today, which is Zeki Selik. Now, we have actually been linked with him before when he was at Lille, and he moved to Roma in 2022. He's played 72 times for Roma in the last 3 years. So, he's played plenty of games. He was known at Lille and Istanbul Sport to have a goal in his locker as well as a right wing back and a right back. He's played 54 times for Turkey. And the understanding is that Roma aren't necessarily in a rush to keep him. There's obviously a relationship between Everton and Roma. I don't know how that works, if I'm being brutally honest. But it looks like we are looking at right backs, which makes me think that Michael Keane is probably going to happen. We've also heard about Idrissa Gana guy. You happy to keep the two of them?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it when we talked about the players we were potentially going to lose. And listen, I say it how it is on here. Everyone knows that, and I've been one of Michael Keane's biggest critics in the past. He did go through a bit of stuff personally and mentally, but we criticised Michael Keane on here because there's been games a lot of games where he hasn't been good enough. He's prone to a mistake. He's cost us goals. He's cost us games. But because we need that many positions filling in this squad and in this team, what I will say, I will give credit where it's due. And I think Michael Keane, since David Moyes has come in, when he's being called upon, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. I think he's comfortable with David Moyes as a manager. I think he's become more comfortable when he's being called upon. He's got better players around him. For me, signing Michael Keane to another contract, whether it be 12 months, 2 years, 1 year with an option of another, for the situation we're in, I think it's an actual no-brainer that we do tie Michael Keane down. We had a conversation today. Michael Keane's very highly paid at Everton up until the 30th of June. He probably will have to take a pay cut. But by all accounts, with the news that's coming out that him and Guy are close to signing a new deal, it's obviously he's happy at Everton. He wants to, carry on at Everton. And listen, he's probably being told you're not going to be first choice, Michael. I think we all know that. But if he's happy to sit on the bench and perform when he's called upon, like he has since David Moyes has come back, then I'm all over that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, he does also have a tendency to score a goal as well, which, I'm not saying we keep him to throw him up front, but
it's an option.
Yeah, it is an option. So yeah, look, I'm happy. We spoke about length of contracts today. I don't think Garner or Michael Keane stay for a 1-year deal. I just don't think it happens, and I do also don't think they'll want to put in the club's hands their second year either. I personally think that they'll both sign 2-year deals.
Possibly. But the thing is, I don't think Guy will be on lesser wages, but I think Michael Keane will be. So if it is the offer of a 2-year deal, then so be it. Going back to the right back, listen, I know nothing of him. I don't know nothing about him. And listen, we've spoke on here about whether we need a right back. We do need a right back. For me, everyone knows my thoughts on Nathan Patterson. You're not going to get many games out of Seamus Coleman. It's not a digger in. I think we can all agree on that. We've had Jake O'Brien playing at right back. It does depend what formation David Moyes plays next season, whether he goes 3 and has attacking fullbacks, which obviously the new fella will come in and do, or is it just going to be cover, for Jake O'Brien if he has to go back into the centre, or will David Moyes start to look at playing Branthwaite and Jake O'Brien in the centre and playing this Sealick at right back? I don't know. That's not a digger for Tarkowski either, because he's been fantastic. I've seen the stats today since he signed for Everton. He's been phenomenal, but he's not getting any younger, and it looks like he will struggle to start the season. So we need options, we need cover. So I can see why we're linked with this right back, whether Jake O'Brien plays there or not.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the other thing that we need to remember when we're talking about players like Michael Keane is this Everton team's going to change so much over the next 2 years. And he knows what it's like to be an Everton player. He's been here 5 years or 6 years or whatever it is. He knows what the fans demand. Now, look, I'm not saying that should be the reason to just keep a player. Of course, it shouldn't be. But it certainly helps when you bring in through the youth that we apparently want to bring in. We've brought in people to look at our youth setup, our kids, our academy, signing more young players. These players need experience around them. And Michael Keane, in terms of our defence, has been there as long, if not longer, than any of them, apart from Seamus, obviously. So he is useful to have, even just from being their perspective. But I also think you could get a lot worse centre half as your fourth choice. I still think Michael Keane could go and play for a Leeds or a Sunderland or one of the promoted sides. I still think he could do a job. So I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. He did look better under Moyes, which is a positive, because he looked horrendous a lot of last season. And we'll just see how it goes, to be honest. I mean,
I think when you mention the experience, we can't rip the whole team up, and we can't afford to lose this many old heads. We can't. We are. The new owners and David Moyes are looking at players who will have a sell-on value, which inadvertently means you're going to bring younger players in. That's what Everton will be looking at. And I'm not saying these players will use us as a stepping stone, but that's football. If it's done properly, that is football. But if you win and stuff, these players don't want to move. But if they improve, you get noticed. And some of the biggest clubs in the world have run like that. But going back to what you were saying about Michael Keane, like him or loathe him, if you get the Michael Keane we got from when David Moyes come back and counted on Michael Keane when he had to, you get that Michael Keane as a fourth-choice defender, then I totally agree with you that there's a lot worse fourth-choice defenders out there. He can plug a gap, he can fill in when he wants to. We're bringing younger people through. It's an older head. You've got Seamus Coleman there as well, who's been there for a lifetime. You're going to need the older heads who know the club, who know the training grounds, and basically tell these new people who are coming in, or these kids who are going to come in, these fans demand stuff. Let them know what we want, because we're sick of being in the doldrums for years now. These older heads, Coleman, your Keanes, your Pickfords, your Garner guys, these players need to nurture these players, how it is and what it's like to play for Everton. And that can only be a good thing. We're having the older heads still there.
Yeah, spot on. One last thing I want to mention. It feels like this saga's dragged on forever, but Tierno Barry. So I was doing some research on him today, and there is also, if people are interested, there's a thread on Twitter. I think they're called La Liga something. You'll find them if you type in La Liga and Barry. Barry's a striker that likes playing in a 2, which I thought was interesting based on David Moyes tending to play with a 1. So what's your take on that? Do you think that means he'll look to play Beto and Barry together? Do you think that means he'll play Alcaraz as a 10 right next to him? Do you think he'll bring in Jarrad? But how's that going to work?
I think he has a number 10 playing closer to him. I don't think Moyes will go 2 up front. Not many Premier League teams do now. So I do think you'll probably have Barry further forward, but you're all going to have someone like Alcaraz or Ndiaye behind him. We have spoke about if we don't get a left winger, Ndiaye will have to play there. But you've got options there, whether it be Ndiaye or whether it be Alcaraz. And listen, I'm going to throw one in the mix here. Whether Beto stays or goes, I don't think Barry's the only striker we bring in.
Yeah, I've seen people talking about that on X today.
I just think, again, Beto has a purple patch. Can he do it consistently over the season? Will he be able to play with someone like Barry? We don't know. I honestly think we do strengthen with 2 strikers. I think you'll have Barry, and then I think we'll bring somebody else in. I think we send Schmidt out on loan.
Yeah, fair enough. Rumours are that the deal is, I mean, we mentioned it yesterday, but rumours that the deal's done. It's 32 million euros up front, 6 million in add-ons, 5-year deal. That's the rumours.
He is on holiday in Miami at the minute, and David Moyes is on holiday in Miami. Make of that what you will. Players, can have medicals in other countries. Whether he has it there, I don't know. He probably will get a longer break than what the other players have had because he was involved in international competition. Maybe he'll meet up with Moyes, and hopefully the deal will be rubber stamped in the next couple of days, at least by the middle of next week, because it is dragging on. Get him signed and move on to the next targets, because we need to get a move on.
Spot on. Right, I'm good. I've got nothing else to add, John. You got anything?
No, all done.
Cool. Right, guys, make sure you get to Flyers. Go and look on the website. The love support's been amazing, and we will leave it there, guys. Yeah, up the toffees, all the positive stuff we're cooking.
Just wanted to say thanks very much to all the new subscribers lately. We have just hit 15,400, 15.4 thousand now. So I think it's the most subscribers we've had on the channel, at least since I've been on it. I think Michael said it's the highest it's ever been. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and carry on telling everyone to subscribe to the Blue Boys Network and put the notification bell on, because the channel is going places. We've got a sponsor. There's things in the pipeline. The love that we're getting lately, the numbers that we're getting lately for the videos has been phenomenal, and we do want to grow it. So tell everyone to subscribe to the Blue Boys Network.
Spot on. Right, guys, we will see you soon. Up the toffees. Peace.